This would be a rebroadcast, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, repodcast. I'm not laughing. The podcast, and I'm sitting here now with Jenny Bobbis, our co-host, and my boss, my sister Kelly Williams. This is us, and you guys know that smile. Look at that beautiful smile. What's up, sis? Girl, you look amazing.
Oh, cut it off.
Yes. And our amazing, iconic matriarch, mom, and mom to so many of you all who grew up with us.
Yeah.
This is truly an honor to have you here, Miss Jo Marie Payton. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Y'all know her as Harriet. Some of y'all know her as Sugar Mama. Now, you might not have known who Sugar Mama was, but you know her voice because you know that voice anywhere.
Sugar Mama in his house, yo.
Yes.
I love it when you do that. So, it's a trip for me when I'm watching the Proud Family and I'm listening to your voice and I'm listening to you. I look at Sugar Mama, but all I can see is you. I see your face.
That means I'm doing my job, right?
That's right.
That's right.
I'm on it.
This is so cool, Kelly. We get to interview our mom. Like, I mean, how many? I don't know how many. Who else has done this? Hey, Malcolm, you ain't done this yet.
Oh man, am I the only non-cast member?
Well, Jenny, you know what? If we ever do a reboot, we're gonna make sure that you.
If y'all need an Asian
Yes.
persuasion.
Yes, we need Asian. We need an
Your
Asian on the
family
show.
No matter what.
Exactly.
Aww.
I mean, you've been doing this too long now with us.
Too long.
So
No.
you part of the family too, Jenny.
That part. I went on, and I was talking about, because we have our new streaming service,
Right.
Dreamflix, and I went on and I was talking about, Kelly likes to cut budgets, and so, we wanted to do
Cut
this.
budgets or cut you.
What budget is she
sibling
cutting?
thing.
I hope it's not ours.
No, she's not gonna cut our budget. This is another project, Jenny. You're okay. Don't worry about it. You're good.
Still a little concerned for you.
Well, yeah,
Jenny.
it's double trouble.
He calls
Watch
it cutting
out.
the budget, but it's really controlled spending.
There you go, Mama. That's right. See,
that
Mama,
sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we haven't changed our outfits yet, but I had this Obi-Wan thing I wanted to put on because Mama, we're doing this May the 4th thing because we're celebrating my birthday, and when I met Michael for the first time, I was 5 years old. At his Star Wars themed party.
Michael who?
Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Thank you, Mama. See that? You see that? This
Michael,
where I
just
get it
any
from.
Michael.
Yeah. Not just
Michael who?
Michael Jackson. Let me pick that name up real
It's
quick.
an important part you're missing out.
So, okay, I want to take us back to the first episode of Family Matters, but before we do that, we have to go back to that episode of Perfect Strangers where Family Matters was born. Can you tell us about that?
Well, Harriet originated, yes, on Perfect Strangers as the elevator operator. And I was guaranteed half of the shows. And during that time, we did 26 shows, 24 to 26 shows a year.
That's right.
52 weeks in a year, you run them twice, and that kind of thing. But I actually wind up doing almost all the shows. I think like 23 or 24 the first season. And because the audience liked the character very much. And then the second season I went on, they fell in love with her again. So Miller Boyette called me into a meeting. It was just the three of us, and said they were going to spin the character off, give her a family, and spin her off.
Mama, I need you to talk into the mic. I want to hear that beautiful voice.
Oh, I'm not into the mic?
Just a little bit more.
Little bit
Pull
more?
it into you a little bit more.
Pull it into me a little bit more.
There we go.
Let me just pull it in.
Oh,
There we
God.
go.
She called. Why did you
Yeah.
do
Hey,
that?
now y'all see where I get some of this from.
That makes sense.
So anyway, long story short, I did almost all of the first season and all of the second season of Perfect Strangers. And Tom Miller and Bob Boyette decided that they would spin the character off and give me you, my beautiful son, my beautiful daughter, and my other daughter, Judy, and a wonderful husband, and Mr. Reginald Bill Johnson, beautiful sister, Thelma Hopkins, and a little bitty Brighton McClure as my little nephew.
Joe.
Yeah.
What so initially, what was your character supposed to be when you initially started on Perfect Strangers?
She was the elevator operator. During that time, Selma Diamond was doing Night Court. And the industry it's a copycat thing. And so they wanted to elevate operate also, so. Hey,
But was it supposed to be like a kind of a small role?
What it was that no, nothing small about me.
Go ahead, mama.
Before some other people got that, I came in for one episode and did all them other
Jo
ones.
Marie.
I was called a hit and run kid. I went in to do 1 Silver Spoons with Ricky Schroeder, Jason Bateman, and Alphonse Ribeiro. I did 5. Woo. I went in to do small one. I did 1. I did 2. Went in to do 1 Moesha. I did 5. I went in to do 1 Will and Grace. I did 6.
Talk about that though.
I'm the real hit and run kid. So when I hear people talk about somebody popped out of a show, well, hell, I popped out of Perfect Strangers. Fonzie popped out of Happy Days. What was done in our show was nothing different that had been done in a lot of other shows.
That's right. That's
So-
right.
But talk about that a little bit. I mean, being a strong character actor where somebody would want to spin a show off for you, do you go into it thinking, I'm about to kill this, I'm about to make,
No.
it's just who you are?
No. As a matter of fact, when I actually got the job, I was working as sales administrative manager for a wholesale touring company.
Oh, wow.
And I was scared to quit my job because I didn't trust nobody in Hollywood. So I actually kept my job for like 3 to 4 months before I cut it loose. So
Wow.
I was working 2 jobs.
Wow.
And I had keys to 2 buildings. And I know how to multitask very well. I still do. A lot of people don't know I had a real estate license, and I took my classes in a college. You know what I'm saying? And so I do a little bit of everything. I do a little bit of everything.
I love that. I love that about you, and you instilled some of that into us. Some of the jewels and the gems that you dropped over the years. I mean, you would always just drop a nug, and you still do. You still do. We were spending some time together recently, and you just always are so knowledgeable. Where did you get that, and a lot of the wisdom and the jewels that you had that you were able to navigate through this industry the way that you were? It's just common sense that a lot of people don't get.
You know what? I got it from my mother and my grandmother. But let me just step back for a minute. When you talk about some of the things that I instilled in you guys have never made me more prouder than when you stepped up and understood that it's important that you give back. That when you get in a position where you can give back, you give back in some way. And I'll never forget it. One year I decided not to give everybody a Christmas gift because you guys know from the day I started, I always gave 100 and some odd Christmas gifts. Everybody got a gift from me.
Yep. That's
Even
right.
the
And everybody got the same thing.
Yep.
Everybody got the same thing. Everybody
right.
got a Family Matters watch or a set of towels or some
Yep.
caps or whatever.
That's right.
Everybody from Tom Miller, Bob Boyd, all the way down to the young man that threw my script across my security gate.
Yep.
Everybody got the same thing because it took all of us in order to make that beautiful show.
That's right.
But I was never so proud as one year I decided that I wasn't going to buy those gifts because I felt like we were all so blessed to be working that I wanted to give it to a charity, a fatherless home with women and children in New York. And so what I decided to do that year was to get a card because we were so multifaceted as far as different ethnicities.
Yes.
With our group, our
Yes,
crew that
we had
had
a
our
very
family
diverse
members.
group.
So I went to this really nice card shop in Beverly Hills and had them do me up a card with all these different denominations saying Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, in all these different languages.
Yes.
And then I put a note in there that I would like to this year, in lieu of gifts, I would like to give to this home with these mothers and children in New York.
Yes.
And so you guys grabbed that and understood how important it was. And that next year, we went out, me, you, Kelly, and it was just the three of us, and Reggie. We went out and we actually went to 5 schools in Los Angeles. And we decided to give money so that they could either buy books, take the graffiti off the wall, fix the bathrooms or
Yep.
whatever. And then I found out later that you were going to Dillard College and you guys were going to different colleges and things and schools doing things.
Yes.
So that made me very proud. So anything that I learned that I gave to you guys, I got it from my mother and my grandmother, who taught me how important it was that you give back.
You know
I
what?
guess something I want to talk about is because I've never met somebody in the industry that never switched up. You've always been, since the day I've met
Facts.
you, you've always been the same way with
Facts.
everybody. So what do you think guides that personality trait in you?
I think I learned a long time ago that everything that I got, everything I received, came from higher power. And then I realized that I did not, as much as I love this industry and as much as I feel like I'm in my element in it, it's where I function best, I never felt like I needed this industry to feed me when I was hungry. I always felt like I could step out of it if I wanted to. And that I was in control of my destiny because I was led by a higher power. So money didn't make me, I made the money. And it'll always be like that for me. You see what I'm saying? So
I'm talking about, look at the gyms. Okay, so look, real quick, I got to give a shout out to our sponsors, you know, because that my boss, Kelly's my boss, you know, I have to do this. So Lupe Sanchez in the building, amazing cannabis, Barrio Grown, Barrio. You have to roll your R's.
Barrio.
Yeah, you know what they say about men who roll their R's?
What they say?
They roll their R's.
Wait.
So
I expect a little more from that statement.
Well, you know, I can give you more later. This cannabis company is amazing.
Yeah,
It's all organic. It's really good. And it's not weed. It's cannabis. So
Okay.
we want to give them a shout out. Keys from Van Nuys, Mercedes.
Keys.
Yes,
keys
they're yes.
from Van Nuys.
There you go, Jenny. Keys Van Nuys. We want to give you a shout out. Thank you guys. And Litco. We also want to thank Buffalo Chip Bourbon. And with that said, Mom, what's your favorite drink?
I like wine.
Hey, Lacey.
I can drink a little bit of everything, but my preference is really wine, and I like Cabernet Sauvignon.
Okay,
Oh,
so
fancy.
we're gonna let the wine flow. Yeah, Kelly, what you sipping on?
I had a little Chardonnay earlier.
Okay.
Now, just chilling.
All right, because we're drinking. We're gonna turn
This
up.
is about my second cup of bourbon.
Yeah. Well, you know, we're drinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Yep. Shout out to Tori Hart. Mama, so I want to just ask you, in today's world, because family matters, and Kelly, we talk about this, you know, because our slogan is family programming from our family to yours, Dream Flicks, and how families used to come together to watch Family Matters. What is the difference that you notice today versus yesterday with programming?
Well, the biggest difference is that families don't sit down to the table like they used to and eat together and, you know, find out what each other is doing, you know, in a day's time. Back in my day, in your day too, part of your day,
right.
you had to be home at a certain time to have dinner.
That's right.
Or you weren't allowed to eat, or there might not be anything for you to eat,
That's
depending
right.
on what family, you know, economics you were in. And that's not happening today. And I know that things don't stay the same. And yes, we have fast food and we have busy lives and all this kind of stuff. But it's still important to have that connection, that physical connection,
Yes.
that family connection where you
Yes.
sit down there with your mom and dad, or your grandma, your grandpa, or your auntie and your uncle, whoever's there at home, and have a meal.
That's right.
Break some bread. It's still important, you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Kelly, what's the name of I'm gonna let you take this one. The name of Mom's show that's on Dreamflix.
Something to eat with Joe Marie.
Oh, is
But you
it
gotta
really?
say it something a certain
Some-
way.
Some needs.
Something to eat.
Oh no, I'm not gonna try it. I'm
Spell
gonna butcher it.
Come on, Jenny, you gotta say it.
SOMETIN.
And you gotta do a little shake with
Come
your
on,
head.
Jenny, let me hear it.
Something to eat.
Something to eat.
There you
Yeah,
go.
Jenny.
That's good. That's
Is it
good.
good enough? Is it
with,
decent?
with Joe Marie. Well, you know what? That came about because I was one of 9. I was the oldest girl. Had 6 brothers and 2 sisters. And the only brother that's gone is the Marine. He's the only one that's passed away. But my mother would come home, and she raised all of us, from the time I was 11 years old. And she would come home dead tired sometimes. And we said, Mama, what are we going to have? She said, I don't know. You better go in there and fix you something to eat. So that's where the title came from, you know. And like I said, my mother was a tremendous cook. But
so
you
are
don't.
you.
But
Yeah.
thank you. But you know what? You don't have to be a good cook or a chef to know how to go in there and fix you something to eat. And that's what my show is about. I don't know what half of the gadgets are. I don't know how to work all that crap, and it don't make no difference. If you come to my house and you need something to eat, I know how to fix you something to eat, okay?
And wait
It
till you
could be-
see her negotiate with the grocer. Like the price gonna change because she don't want to pay.
Well, you know, if you go into a butcher shop and
You
the
used to be able
butcher
to
says,
do that though, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
That's
Used
it.
to.
If the butcher, listen,
And
if the
she got
butcher,
me with her.
the butcher say, well,
I'm looking like
this steak is $3.99 a pound, Then I said, well, how much is it if you take the bone out? You know what I'm saying?
She
'Cause I
had
don't
me
need the
in
bone.
there taking all
Come
the
on,
grains off the stalk,
No.
putting it in a bag, so that the stalk.
You gonna throw it away? What do I need that for? You see
Oh
what I'm
my
saying?
gosh.
What do I need all that for?
See, that would be a
If
good
you go in the
skit.
store,
Mother.
and you got some
That's a
bad,
skit.
you got some
Jay,
bad, you got some
that's a
bad
skit.
cabbage.
That's the next one.
That's the next one.
This me.
Yeah, you got some bad cabbage.
Apologizing to the people at the grocery store.
Yeah. You know, and I love vine ripened tomatoes, and I like to see them on the vine. But the vine, wait, what I need that for? Take it off the vine. Sell it to me for the same price.
Who takes
What I need that for? I don't need that, man.
No, not
I
just
can't
that.
smoke that. That ain't no cannabis.
Not just that. I don't want to say I'm fanatical, and I'm very, very neat. But when I go in the store, I want the best,
Gets me.
everything you got. I don't want a piece of fruit or a vegetable with a spot or a bruise on it, except for a watermelon. You got a bruise, then that means the bees and things like that.
Right.
But when I get my milk, I go to the back. I want the latest date. I get my lunch meat. I look at the date. I look at the date on my water.
Joe, the
Y'all know
grocery
water
store
go
got big
bad?
money, man.
I look at, come on.
They done paid you to leave.
Listen. Not just that. Let me tell you something.
They
I
done
did
ran
when,
us out of there.
let me tell you something. Back in the day, we talking about back in the day. Mr. John or Mr. James, somebody came by, you buy a watermelon for $1, right?
You're right.
Off the truck.
Yes.
They bring them in from Georgia, they're even better.
Right.
A watermelon not cost you $8, $12 for a watermelon. Whatever. But well, you're gonna buy half of it.
Oranges too, though. That's
That's right.
crazy.
Listen, I bought a watermelon. I paid
It's the truth. It's the truth.
I paid $8 for this watermelon.
Congratulate that.
Wait, hold up. Hold
I'm
up.
just saying.
I paid $8 for this watermelon on sale. And I cut it in half. I couldn't wait to put it in the refrigerator because I like it cold. I took a bite of that watermelon. I wrapped it up in some saran wrap. Took the whole watermelon back to the store. He said, Miss Payton, he said, what happened? I said, you tasted it and didn't tell me. I didn't cut that other half. So,
They got her picture up just like she's Bonnie and Clyde
I
at
bet
all
they-
half
I
the
bet they
grocery
did.
stores.
so they took the
In
watermelon.
Florida.
Listen, he took the watermelon back though, and he told us, go back there and get her another one. He said, now hold on, let me plug it. And you know how they used to plug it like a triangle?
Right.
He plugged it. He said, taste that, Miss Payton. How is that one? I said, is that from the same batch? He said, no, this one came from another grower. I said, that one work. Let me take that one.
But you know what? You know.
Because I don't want to waste money.
But you know what's so awesome about that? It's the relationship in the community
Yeah.
that we used to have. And we used to have those relationships with our pastors. We used
Right.
to have those relationships with our
Right.
grocers.
Right.
Even with the gas station. I mean, like there was like the milkman used to come and bring the milk. Well, that's
How
a
is-
different
were these
relationship.
small towns?
There's some no, these
Serious.
big towns.
Moving
That's
on.
another episode.
do you
We'll talk
know
about the
everybody?
milkman. Somebody be like, anyway, that's another episode. But no, these were
It's
big
important,
towns.
and it's important that you have that kind of relationship. And now, when I was growing up, we had the relationship because a lot of times your parents didn't have money. So we had a Asian gentleman. We called him Joe. We called him Chinaman Joe. That's what we called him. I hope I'm not offending anybody, but that's what we called him because he was from China. But if your parents didn't have enough money, he had a tablet, and he would sell you stuff on credit. That's the kind of neighborhood we
Right.
grew up
Wow.
in.
Right.
He said, "What Miss Frankie need?"
Right.
Okay, well, go and take it, baby. Tell your mom it cost so and so and so and so and so and all, and I'll see her next payday. That's the way we grew up.
Oh, we can't do that nowadays.
You know, listen. You took your clothes to the dry cleaners. If they knew that your daddy or somebody worked and they had a uniform, they would go and clean that uniform and say, "I'll see you next week."
Yeah.
And this, that, and the other. We did things to help each other.
Yes.
Nowadays, people don't really
People
care
don't
about
help-
that.
they
They don't.
don't.
You know,
They don't.
we don't have that kind of compassion for each other. You know.
Yeah.
And it's hard because what we do is what our children do.
Yes.
You understand?
What do you mean?
And it starts
What
with the
what
family.
they see us do, the way they see us act, that's the way they act, and that's what they do. You know, if we don't care, they don't care, and it's even worse. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. And it does start with the family.
It does.
It starts at home.
Even with all the stuff that we have in the schools, and I'm not gonna say that my granddaughter is an angel or anything like that. She's a good kid, but I'm not gonna say she's an angel because you can do everything in the world with your kid and try to raise them the right way and teach them all the right things. And it only takes one person to null and void out almost everything you taught your kid. One person to null and void out everything you taught them. But you know what? You still got to teach them the right way because if you plant that seed,
Yes.
eventually, maybe one day, they'll remember what it was and they'll come back to where
Right.
they need to be. You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
And I
So-
think everybody can understand your heart. What do you think is the thing that drives you? Because you're a very passionate person.
Well, you know what? I believe in doing the right thing even if I don't. And like I tell people, I believe everything in that Bible even if I don't practice it. I believe everything in the Bible. But my mother always said you are saved or condemned by your own belief. Because what you believe is what you're going to do. That's what you're going to live by. I believe in treating people right. I love going to bed at night and having a good night's sleep, whether I got 3 hours or if I got 13 hours. And the only way I can do that is to go to bed at peace, knowing that I got my heart feels good, my spirit feels good. I did the best I could that day. I always tell people, I control what I know I can control. And the two things that I know I can control is the way I go to sleep at night, feeling good about what I did that day, and getting up in the morning, and I wake up every morning in a good mood. And I start right here because I don't know what hell is going to break loose during the day. So I try to put it in the middle, hoping that I'll go somewhere above that. You see what I'm saying? Those are the things that I can control, and so I control them.
God, this is how we grew up, Jenny. This is, and it was so great for us is we have amazing natural parents, Kelly. I mean, I can attest. You know, we was all, and we have, I like to call
Supplement.
Yes. And so it was really a tribe when we grew up on Family Matters, right?
I tell people that all the time. One time I was cutting up with Big Pat. She had some backup.
Always.
Hey, baby.
The stereo mothers.
Come on now.
The stereo mothers.
You can't cut up. Man, we're not doing that. You can't cut up with your mother now. We gonna do that. I said, y'all about to jump me?
And she said it with that look on her face that she could get. With that look on her face that she can get.
But you know what? To add to what Kel's just saying, I'm looking at today. You know, the name of our show is "I'm Not Laughing," and we call it that because we've been laughing at stuff that ain't funny for way too long.
No, it's not.
This stuff is not funny.
It's not.
And it's even worse now with social media and everything. And because some of these kids, they see this stuff and their influence. What is your take on the breakdown of the family now, and how it began, and where we are? And how we fix it?
I think the basic breakdown of the family is not being responsible. It's not thinking in a responsible way about the consequences of what they do, where they do it, and who they do it to or with. And the example I use is that for a lot of our young women, I have a daughter myself, you know, and a granddaughter. And my granddaughter, I cut the umbilical cord. And I don't think my daughter's going to have a problem with me saying this. I cut my granddaughter's umbilical cord because her father was in prison when she was born. Wow. My daughter and I were raising her by ourselves for the last maybe 5 or 6 years. And so I was one of those people who was working with an organization called Grandparents Raising Grandchildren. So I tell people, don't look at my life like I had a stellar life or things were so wonderful and great with me, because they weren't. I just learned to maneuver and to go through life believing that God was not going to put any more on me than I could handle. At that particular time, I didn't have a show. And I had a daughter who was by herself. I had a granddaughter who was without a father. I had a mother who had just passed away. I'd moved to Miami, and a lot of things were happening, but I did not believe for a minute that God was going to put any more on me than what I could take. And the strong, I always tell people, the strong do survive, because God don't use weak people to do powerful things. So the strong do survive. And why would he want to use somebody weak that couldn't control his mission and be an example of his power? You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So anything that I do to go through, it's just testimony and to who he is and the power that he has, because he guides me. I'm not saying that I'm perfect or that I do everything right, because I don't. But I know how to ask for forgiveness. And the greatest gift that we can get is to ask for forgiveness. The same way the greatest gift we can give somebody is to forgive them. Because when you hold things against people, you give them power over you.
Yep.
How many times should you forgive them? What does they say? 7 times? 77 times. Forgive them. You know something? I was telling somebody today. I don't know anybody that I could not forgive. I could even forgive. Hate is a strong word.
I could think
and
of
I
a
don't
couple
use,
people,
hold on
though,
one second.
Mama.
And wait, hold on 1 second. Let me just finish saying this.
Yes.
Hate is a very strong word, so I try not to have it in my vocabulary, because I don't want to give anybody that kind of power over me. But I was telling somebody just today, I could even forgive our ex-president. You know how I could forgive him? I could forgive him if he would go back and he would if not apologize, apologize. Say he's sorry for over 500,000 people that he may or may not have been responsible for their death. He still should say, I'm sorry. He should say, I'm sorry about what happened to your family members.
Yes.
He should say, I'm sorry to my family and my grandkids, my kids and my grandkids. He should say, I'm sorry to all of those people that I myself have respect for as congressional leaders and that who are now on the wrong side of history. If he could go back and apologize to all those people, I could forgive him. Because I ain't going to let him have that kind of power over me.
Wow.
Not him and anybody else.
Yeah. I remember you sharing that with me, having people have power over you, because I was going through some things growing up. My parents actually had split, and that was hard for me, and it really helped me to grow in so many areas. I'm not gonna lie, I still have issues forgiving some people. You know who you are, but anyway, Kelly.
But forgive anyway.
Yep.
Yes.
Because you wonder around.
Let's not bring up all the stuff that you done.
Well, hey, I'm a work in progress, and I'm very honest.
all are, though.
I'm a very yes,
all
we
are.
are. Yes.
But you know what? You can walk around and not forgive people, and then you wonder why they succeed. You say, well, look at this MF, you know? I mean, I didn't do nothing, and he did so, blah, blah, blah. Why is he getting away with us? You know why? Because he had enough sense, and he had enough faith and understanding that if he asked for forgiveness, he would be forgiven. Yeah. So while you walking around holding on to something that you should let go of, he already went on and said, God, forgive me. Yeah. Like David.
Yes.
Let me go to David.
Yes.
David was the greatest king that we ever had.
Yes.
He was also a murderer he did all kinds of adultery.
Right. Yeah.
He did all kinds of things. He had the woman that he loves husband killed.
Killed in battle. Put him on the front line.
Yeah. He was the greatest king.
Yes.
And he believed so much. And he knew how to pray. That's where we get Psalms from. He knew how to pray and ask for forgiveness.
That's right.
And God forgave him.
That's right.
But the thing he wanted the most, because see, you don't never get away with doing stuff that's bad or something that's unforbidden. You never get away with it. The thing that he wanted the most was the thing that he never got. He wanted to be the one, after he was told how to build the Ark of the Covenant, how to do every instrument, every pearl, every stone, every piece of wood, every inch he gave him the blueprint. He wanted to build it. He was not allowed to build it, but he let his son build it. So you have to pay attention to some of the things that you do in life.
Yes.
Especially if you're a parent.
Yes.
Because if you don't take care of business and do what you're supposed to do, sometimes your children have to take care of it.
Yep.
That's right.
I believe that I'm blessed by some of the prayers that maybe my great-grandmother, my grandmother put out there for me.
Yes.
That keeps me going. You see what I'm
Yes.
saying? So when you become a parent, it's not about you anymore.
That's right.
It's not about you anyway, but for sure it's really not about you when you have a kid. It's about that offspring. It's about that's the way of that higher power. I call him God. Extending your life, saying, okay, I want Darius to continue on, or I want the seed of Darius to continue on. A lot of people, he wipe out everything. And you know, he'll wipe you out.
Yeah.
He'll take you up out of here.
Yes.
You and all your seed too.
Yep.
And so it is important. So if you should learn to forgive, say it anyway, even if you can't get to that point. Say it, because maybe you will get to that point. Don't let anybody hold power over you.
Yeah,
like
because
that.
you'll be holding on to that pain and they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
That's right.
You're the only one hurting.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm learning. I'm getting better.
But even if you can't say it to them, just put it in the wind, because sometimes I've had to put it in the wind.
Yeah.
Father God, I wish him well. I hope I don't see him again, but I wish him well. I ain't holding nothing, you know. Sometimes that's how you have to do it.
That's right.
You know, when you said she had plenty of gems, I was like, I would like some gems, but you said so much
Correct.
that
She
I've
dropped
learned
every
within.
sentence.
Yeah. But you seem so strong mentally. Do you feel like you've always been that way? Or do you think the entertainment industry
Yes.
may have had some sort of
No,
impact on that?
No, I had some.
Joe.
No, I had some devastation in my life, and I'm gonna write my book next year, and I've been collecting all of my information for the last 3 years, and I announced it earlier this year that I'm actually gonna write my autobiography, and I'm telling you guys that the name of it, because I actually told a reporter the name of it. It's called Frankie Payton's Daughter. My mother's name was Frankie. And the name of my book, my autobiography, my life story, is Frankie Payton's Daughter, because I got a lot from her. And
Like what,
some I got her strength. I understood what she was trying to tell me. even though it was hard for her to make me understand, I understood. And nothing meant more to me than my mother and helping my mother, because my mother helped me, and she was a powerhouse in my life. And she helped me at a time when I was most devastated, and I was a child, and I did not understand. I was molested as a child, and by my father. And a lot of people don't know it, and some people do. And maybe one of the reasons that I worked at orphanages. I know, as a matter of fact, Blair Underwood and I bid it all day long for a basketball that was signed by Shaq and Kobe and all to give to an orphanage. And so some of this stuff will actually be in the book. And then some people say, well, how can it happen? It never happened. It actually hit the newspapers. And so I have to go back and get the news. But I was 9 years old, and it was my father. But my mother had the courage to put my father in prison. My father went to a prison called Rayford State Prison in Florida. And she had him put in prison for touching me. And I'll delve a little bit more into the story. But it was my mother and my grandmother that told me how beautiful I was inside and out, and how strong I was. And that, I think, maybe was one of the things that kept me from maybe feeling guilty or feeling bad or feeling like I couldn't go on or feeling nasty or whatever. I never really felt like that. But I know I could have gotten to that point because I've ran into some young women and young men too. I can look them in their eyes and I know when they've been touched. I know when they've been tainted. I know because I was them. So when I look them in their eyes, I see me. I see me. But then, like I said, the strong survive. And sometimes things that happen to you are not really for you. They're for you to be that vessel to pull somebody else through, to say, hey, your life didn't end there. And that's why I say people that say, oh, well, they got raped, they know rape. Yes, they do. Because there's a pheromone that a person has. And when they savagely rape you, or when they do something to you, you know that smell no matter what. You know that smell. You know who did that to you. You see what I'm saying?
Do you think this is why you're so strong, is because you're an overcomer?
I'm an overcomer, but I'm strong because I had to be strong, And there are a lot of things that I went through in my life. I had my daughter checked by a friend of mine who was a doctor. She didn't know I was having her checked, but I had to check because I wanted to make sure that my husband hadn't touched my daughter. You see what I'm saying? So there are a lot of things that I did that I had to do because my biggest responsibility was to take care of my child, which is one of the reasons I feel so strong about Jamie, because I know what Jamie probably went through and all. But by the same token, if it hadn't been Jamie, it could have been anybody's child. The worst feeling in the world is for a parent to not know where their child is. And that's why so many people don't have closure until somebody find the body.
Right.
Find the body, find out where they were last were,
Right.
because they need closure to that.
Right.
So for me, with
Have
Jamie.
you spoken to her?
Yeah, I've spoken to Jamie. As a matter of fact, I shot at Jamie last night. And not physically, but I spoke because we communicate back and forth. But it's not just Jamie, it's anybody's child. When I christened my daughter and I gave her her godparents, I looked them in the eyes and I told them, you're responsible. I gave you my daughter. You're responsible for if something happens to me. I chose you because I expect you to do for my daughter what I would have done for her. I was going to do a Moesha, one of the Moesha episodes. And I came on, they were shooting, I think, on Sunset Gower or something they were shooting.
Yeah, that's right.
And I got ready to go over there. And I turned the corner and I saw this young lady sitting on a suitcase. She looked like she might have been all of 14 to 16 years old. And I was going to the studio and I was running a little late. Something made me go back around that corner. I went back around the corner to see that young lady. And I said, are you okay, sweetheart? And she just shook her head. She didn't say anything. I gave her $100. I said, please go and get in a hotel room or something. Please don't sit on the corner like that. And then I sat in my car and I cried before I went in to do Moesha.
Wow.
Because that could have been my daughter. Your child is just as important as my child. It's a child.
And that right there is like so dope. Like what you're saying, Ramon, is like back to community and family. These are so selfish today. And if you get out of that whole I mind. I love Apple. I love iPhone, iPad. It's so funny like how sometimes people go to take a picture with you. And we're going to have somebody take a picture. And we say, no, let's let somebody take a picture for us. They're like, no, we want to take a selfie. You just supposed to be so the way you work. You know, we were doing this con thing. We were doing a meet and greet, and all of us were together. And they had us, you know,
always concerned with the whole.
The whole, everybody, always. That's how you've always been. And I remember one kid came up. He was dressed in suspenders and glasses. And you were like, let's do a scene. And you pulled him in from the selfie, and we were actually able to interact with him and give him a moment. And I think that it was so cool. And I'm like, I mean,
she's always been consistent because that's what she's been with us.
That's how she was with us. And I think that's part of the reason why, you know, in addition to us, you know, being raised in the homes that we were blessed to be raised in.
You were raised by mama.
Yes, and that's why, you know, that's how we get in.
Even in correction.
Even in correction, yeah. And also, I think that this also helped us to balance show business. You know, Jenny, she has a organization called Yana. You're Not Alone. It helps with mental health. You know, helps support mental health. And I was saying how we don't have any of that support as actors. SAG don't do that for us. They don't check us and be like, "Yo, you okay?"
And y'all need it the most. Okay, not the most. I'm sorry. Everyone needs it.
No, we probably do need it the most.
We're more neglected because we're looked at as like everything's just ponies and rainbows all the time, and it's not. And people can't see past that because all they see is what we choose to show them.
Right. Well, if I've never said it before, Darius and Kelly, and the Brighton and all the other, because I'm so proud of the way you guys have handled your life, you know, with your ups and your downs, and we all have them, and with your trials and tribulations and illnesses and everything else. I'm very proud of the way that you guys have handled that. And but also,
except for Kelly. Kelly don't handle ups and downs. Kelly's consistent. She's perfect. Perfect child.
I think it started with me, with you guys, and I know it was the first season, and it might have been even before we got halfway through the first season, because where we did our reading was in a portable type thingamadoo, and I was a smoker at that time. I smoked cigarettes, and we would eat coffee and do everything in there. And one day it just hit me. I said, you know what? If we don't respect where you guys, that was your schoolhouse.
Yeah.
That's where SAG and the counselors and everybody, your teachers were there.
Yeah.
And I felt bad. I said, if we don't respect this place, they're not going to respect us. So I went to Bob and those, and I said, listen, if we don't respect their classroom, they're not going to respect it. And I felt like you guys weren't going to be good students if you weren't focused, you know, and you were thinking you could do what we were doing.
Is that
why
you were so keen on having a specific kind of relationship? Because I mean, you're a keeper of the tradition.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. Keeper of tradition.
I mean, you guys really took the responsibility of helping to raise us.
Yeah, and that all the way to the point that I felt so bad, and I really wanted you to go to your prom. You didn't go to your prom. I wanted so bad for you to go to your senior prom, and you didn't go. That's me on a personal level, you know. And maybe because I didn't go to mine, because my mom couldn't afford to get me a dress, although I was asked by a very, very nice boy. And I didn't want to pressure my mother. I'm never kind of person or the kid to pressure my mother to do something. But she couldn't afford it. But I made up for it at my 20th class reunion, because I made sure nobody had a better looking dress than I had on. Damn it, that was my prom. That was my prom, you know. But at any rate, but I am so proud of you guys and the way you have turned out and the way you handle your situations.
And we're so proud that you our mama.
Yes, for real though. Facts.
I love the bond you have off camera. I mean, it seems like you're a closer family in real life.
It's real. It's real. I let my daughter go and stay with Kelly and her family in Washington, D.C. The first time I ever let her leave home like that. And all because they fell in love with her, you know. Yeah. And they came to my house, and they would spend the night at my house and stuff like that. And, you know, and Darius and his mom and his sister Sarah and Donovan, all of them, they were all growing up together. The kids were all growing up together, you know. We were a real family. We always will be. I don't think anything or anybody could break the bond that we have, you know. I just don't believe it will ever happen.
Hey, Bubba, you remember when I was speeding? I was ripping and running. You know, I like to drive fast sometimes. And I was on the freeway.
405.
405 freeway, and I was dipping. And, you know, she knew it was me, because she knew kind of the rims I had on the car. She knew my car.
Yeah, because you brought it to my house the day you got it. You came over there with your father, Howard.
Yes.
He came, Howard McCrary, his famous dad. He came over there with his dad to show me his brand new car. A black BMW, BMW. Came to my house. I saw him flying. I was headed on an audition. I saw this car fly past me on the 405. I said, it looked like Darius. I said, it is Darius.
What you do? What you do?
I called him. I said, you better slow your ass down. I saw you fly past me. Dang, that was him.
But wait,
sure did.
the flip side of the coin is, one day I was flying down the street with Breda, and Reggie saw me flying, and he pulled up next to me and said,
I think that's exactly the thing that people don't know why they like the show, because they was watching something real.
Or he called me and said, do you know what your son did? Reggie called me sometime. Do
Like
you
y'all
know what
was
your
our
son
real
did?
parents.
Did you hear what your son did? This is after the show that gone off the air. Do you know what your son did?
You know, but,
Oh my
but I
God.
think that
if there was more accountability, people always ask, how did we grow up like we did? Because there's so many child stars that spun out. And like you said, man, we had our trials and tribulations, but there is no spin out because of the accountability.
you know,
Ain't no spin out when you got a crazy mama who will show up and cut up to this day.
You know, you got to do it. I gotta do it. And but I tell you what, though, one of my kids that I really miss. I know where Jamie is, and I know that she's okay. I know, but I really miss Orlando Brown
oh man,
because he came to us at such a tender age, and
man.
he was such a beautiful little kid. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And then when I found out different things were happening with Orlando and all, my heart just went out there because I knew him and I knew his mother. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Orlando, if you're out there and you see me, baby, I still love you as much as I did from day one. Know that, okay?
Honey, she mean
I know.
every word of that.
Every word.
Maybe
of it.
we'll get him on Kelly.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll bring him on.
Yeah.
We got a few more minutes.
Mom,
I want you to
tell everybody where they can find you on your social media. Now we finally got you on social media.
Tell
She's
you,
so
I was
funny.
I was messing up so bad on social media. Y'all know it out there. Y'all that be on social media.
Somebody come get my mother.
Printing out all kind of stuff. My daughter said, Mama,
come get
I am
her.
so scared that you're going to upload all your pictures from your gallery on
First
the
of all,
No, but I asked her, Kelly, man, I said, Mom, is this really you? Because I was asking her, because I didn't even know. I'm asking her if it's really her, because I didn't even know.
Well, they got me set up now on
Wait, did
what
this
is it?
happen?
Instagram.
Instagram,
Well, y'all know
at
my
Joe
Facebook,
Marie, at Joe Marie.
At JoeMarie.com. And LinkedIn and Facebook, all these different things. I'm on all this different stuff, but I got to go in my phone book if I get locked out to find out what the password is. But at any rate,
Hey, but she be
Phone book?
working it, though. Hey, look at me
Somebody
on our
get-
Dream Flick Zoom,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
Hey, listen, it is so funny. She be on them Zoom meetings. She be running our Zoom meetings, for real. If I have any, even though Kelly my boss, I call and talk to moms, you know. But
That's the boss.
yeah. So we do this Dream Flicks thing. We're really excited.
every Thursday we have these wonderful meetings and all, and we're so excited to bring Dream Flicks TV to you guys and all these beautiful programs that we're coming up with. My cooking show. Kelly's going to do a talk show. I'm going to direct some of them.
Yep.
And but we have a children's show coming up. We have game show coming up. We have all these wonderful things coming up. And you know that they're going to have the flavor that we have.
Yep.
Not that we're so super religious or so super good, but we intend to do the right thing for the
we're-
right reason.
And we're family minded,
And we family minded.
family friendly.
Yeah.
And we need that.
And we ain't ashamed of it. We ain't ashamed to be family.
That's right.
You know, grounded and blended and all that other thing, you know.
Crazy as our family
That's
is,
it.
Yeah, y'all.
That's
we
it.
still together.
That's right. we
And that's
love
all
each
that
other.
matters.
That's right.
Family.
Yeah. So, Mama, we got to do this again.
course.
We're gonna turn on some music because we are celebrating tonight, and we're gonna eat some barbecue.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get a shot of bourbon.
Yes.
Jenny?
Same.
Kelly, you want to take us home?
Go ahead.
I'm not laughing because we've been laughing at. That's for way too long. That's not funny. I got both my mamas
You
in the house
50
today,
years
so I
old,
can't
still
cuss.
can't cuss.
I can't cuss. I can't do it. But both my mamas, I got the
Yes, you
stereo
can.
mamas.
You did a
All
good
right.
job.
You can cuss, but I'm going to slap you upside your head if you do.
And there you have it, y'all. Hey, check us out. Rock with us, stay with us. We're going to turn up. Gatsby Randolph is in the building. We spinning.
Yep.
May the 4th be with you. Hey, Mickey Howard, what's up? Hey.
Fabulous.
Yes, she is.